outside and have another beautiful day.
Yes.
No?
I am just checking in with our live stream here. Yes, we are on our group. So welcome, goddesses. This is our second attempt at trying to zoom in live with you in the hopes that we are creating some fluidity with our goddess chats as we move forward with you all. So yes, welcome.
Welcome everybody.
Welcome. So Miss Paige, yeah, it's been a week already, huh?
Another week. Tell you what, I think, gosh, how many weeks has it been? It's what, 9 weeks now?
Yeah,
something like that.
Somewhere in there. Yep.
And I think a lot of us are like, I'm done. Let's get moving again, you know? And I was thinking about that this morning. I was thinking how in the beginning we were all kind of freaking out because we didn't know what to do. Right? We didn't know what to do. We were just in this mode of doing, and you and I were like in a mode of creating certain things, and then it was like pump the brakes and then reevaluate. We were doing all these things, reevaluating, and focusing on the what, right? What are we doing? What's next? What's coming? We don't know. All of that. And now, I mean, at least for me, I kind of have a greater sense of the what.
Yeah.
And then now it's the how. Well, how is that going to work? How is that going to be? Because we're slowly emerging out of this pause, some of us, and we keep saying we're coming out of this new and different. And but how is that all going to happen? And then we're all spooled up again. And that's what our goddess Green Tara is telling us.
Yes.
This week, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've been experiencing. I've been just really trying not to get too caught up in the how, and just trust that divine order and that the pieces will all come into place.
And I think that is a beautiful observation, because I know that in the past 4 years with ALJ, every time I'd start to get into well, how am I going to do that? Well, how am I going to do that? And then all of a sudden I would hear this tiny voice, that internal vibration just say, focus on what you want to do. Focus on the what. And so I have spent a lot of time on that concept of focus on the what. And it's interesting because a lot of the what's that I was focusing on are now becoming, are manifesting. And the hows just became, this is what you need to do next. Like, this is the next step. For instance, when everything became what it was 2 months ago, it truly was just the natural progression to take the next steps, right? To embrace going virtual, to begin to learn how to do some of these things that are, what they are. And I'm appreciating that. And so I appreciate Green Tara's message in regards to focusing on what instead of how.
Right. I feel like it's very timely. I think all the goddesses we've chosen have, well, obviously been divinely guided, and they've kind of, at least for me, guided me step by step toward where we are now.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and to have our first event tonight is like,
yeah, I know. And thank you for all of you who participated in that little party we had and the suggestions you gave. It had been suggested that we do some painting, have a little paint party, and we thought, why not? It'll be fun. I mean, we have to have some fun. We have to laugh. I know,
Yeah.
Ramona, you've been through some pretty dark stuff and feeling all those deep emotions. And I think to counter that, you need to laugh. You just need to have
Mhm.
fun, right?
Yep.
Uh,
And make
Laughter
space
is
for
the
it.
best medicine.
Yep. And make space for it for sure, because we can
Yeah.
definitely get very stuck in, you know, it's interesting you say that, because it's the how, it's the focusing on the how that I think is what drops me into those spaces of having to do that shadow work, because all of a sudden then I have the fear and I have the uncertainty and I have the worry and I have, you know, all these pieces that really at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
it's just me letting ego, you know, create chaos where chaos doesn't actually need to live. But I also recognize that those shadows are my opportunity to lean in to to what to what needs to be done, not how, to what I need to do. And
Mm-hmm.
and then I lean into my tribe. I lean into my goddess sisters. I lean into, you know, the support that I have, which is a new practice in my life, because for the better part of it, before my 40s, it was I had to do everything. It was on me to care for everything. And then as
Mm-hmm.
I've grown and expanded and learned, it's that leaning into those people who speak your language and get you.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the areas that you can really let go, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And intentionally calling in that support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I I was reminded this morning in my meditation. I, I I'm not too. It's not too difficult for me to trust the process. I don't know. I guess because I've known from experience, and whenever I'm challenged on the how, or the what, I just have to sit back and be open and just look for whatever opportunity comes about. However, that can be to my detriment, and I'm just kind of sitting around waiting for something to happen, and I don't often intentionally call in
Mm-hmm.
help.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's another, because I was thinking about that word salvation,
Yeah.
because I was thinking that's kind of a strange word for that card, salvation. Like, I don't feel like I need to be saved, but I mean, really,
But when you read
sometimes,
her
like,
message,
help me.
but when you read her
When you read the
message
message,
more,
right,
it's not
it
in
makes
our
sense.
egoized understanding of salvation. It's an
It's calling
understanding.
on, it's
Yeah.
calling on for help.
Yeah.
And uh, you certainly have been doing that and reaching out to
Mm-hmm.
us
Mm-hmm.
and saying, I need help, or I'm just experiencing this. And
Yep.
then we're all there.
Yep.
That's the goddess way. And
Yep.
not all of us have the answer, but some of us have some experience to
Yeah.
bring to the
Yep.
table.
Yep.
Others are like, oh gosh, I'm going through that too. How are you negotiating that?
Right.
I mean, we're all doing this together, because
Right.
and when you think about it, Ramona, is even in our talk way back in the podcast, we were like putting the dots together.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you make a forward movement, it seems like somebody was there
Mm-hmm.
to do it with you, to guide you. We
Yep.
rarely were the things that we did that we're successful or whatever were something that we did our own.
Yeah. That we decided
Um,
I have to do it all. Right. Exactly.
right. Or even found joy in. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, maybe we were successful in opening that business or
Yeah.
making all that money or whatever it was we were doing, but did it bring us joy?
Right.
Were we really
Exactly.
enjoying it?
Exactly.
And it's just, I feel like this group and what we're doing, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's almost bringing tears to my eyes. It's just, it brings me joy. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just,
And I will say that
you know,
that's kind of, not kind of, that is where I have been living probably the last couple of years. Is I every collaboration that I'm choosing, and I'm using that word specifically, every collaboration that I'm choosing to settle into, it is with the singular understanding of is this, am I enjoying, am I having joy? Am I enjoying this? Am I happy doing this? Or is this hard? Because when it's hard, that
Mm-hmm.
has become my message, that this is, you need to evaluate what's going on here, and see, are you forcing something? Are you yearning for something to be that's not really capable of being? And when I
Mm-hmm.
stopped taking on those experiences and started only taking on things that I have this smile on my face whenever I'm collaborating and co-creating, then all of a sudden it got easier. It just
Mm-hmm.
got easier. And I can honestly say, one of the messages I got at the beginning of this year was to approach everything that I want to do with the added, with the approach, with the intention of listening to source, listening to the divine, and saying, what do you want to, how can I be of service to the divine to create what
Right.
feels in alignment for now? Like, anything that I'm doing, it's because it's in alignment. I'm in alignment with the people that I'm working with. And I have to tell you, that's the other thing that I've been gifted over this transition and how I operate is I don't have to carry the load by myself.
Mm-hmm.
That, who got us. Let me tell you what, that is probably the number one benefit that I have gained through becoming vulnerable and allowing myself to be supported by others, is
Mm-hmm.
realizing I don't have to push a boulder up a hill. Instead, my sisters will say, hey, I'll take this end of the boulder, you take that end of the boulder, and we find a way to move that sucker with ease.
Exactly. Exactly. What a beautiful thing.
So,
And I think
yeah.
you've seen it manifest in your home life
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And I've seen it. Uh,
Yep.
with we just were open, and we are being supported by
Mm-hmm.
so many people and things in our lives. And
Yep.
I I don't want to discount those that are really still struggling. My
Yeah.
heart goes out to those that really have lost their income, or really, maybe aren't getting that unemployment check, or just still
Yeah.
waiting. It's difficult, but there's gifts to be found in everything.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Well, and I think that the message here is, if you are there, lean in, lean into the people that can hold you a little bit. Because I will
exactly.
tell you, that's the only
And
reason that I'm where I'm at
yeah,
right now, is because I allowed myself to receive grocery money, you know,
right,
and
exactly.
I've allowed myself to call up friends at any time of the day crying because, it's hard and I'm having a hard day and it doesn't feel good, and I know that this is a moment and I know that it will pass, and I know all of those things, but I also know that it's important for me to allow myself to feel exactly what I'm feeling. Otherwise, it becomes a trapped energy in my body, and I do not want that.
Hmm. I'd just like to know, for those of you who are watching, that we indeed want to have hold that sacred space for you. So if you're experiencing any and all of these things, we're here for you.
Yeah.
That's why we created this group. We want you to have a safe space. It be something special to you that you want to log on, you want to be part of this. So that's another reason we want to
Mhm.
do the things that you want to do.
Mhm.
Uh, this is a sacred sisterhood.
Yes.
And as we experience the divine coming up through us, we and sharing that, we all grow. And it's a beautiful thing to know that there is somewhere to go, that there is a
Yeah.
space. And Ramona, you're always you are a master at creating space wherever you are. You have a beautiful space right there, right behind you. You know, wherever you are, you can just make it magical. And we can do the same here virtually, and which is, it's a beautiful thing, because I don't see this going away anytime soon,
No,
really.
I see us expanding and growing,
Yeah, I
continuing
mean,
to.
I'm super excited to see all of you and to give you a hug, and yes, goddess, and bang
Mm-hmm.
on the drums together, whatever it is we're going to do. But I am so grateful that we have this opportunity to expand and make a larger space for all of you. But this chat is for you and me, Ramona, but it's for everybody,
Yeah,
really. And
absolutely.
yeah,
And every
yeah.
one of them are. That's why we've always said anybody who feels like stepping in and joining us, please do. And speaking of that,
Mhm.
we are so excited. We will have another sister with us next week. Um,
Yes.
Miss Rachel Chase is one of our divine, lovely, magical sisters that's a part of our group. And she is an amazing facilitator and guide and just all around magical being. So we're excited to have her join us next Wednesday, and
Hmm.
and we're not sure who the goddess is going to be that's going to join us next week yet. But once we do, then we'll tap into those energies with Rachel.
Find out on Monday. Stay tuned.
So with that, friends, thank you so much for joining us. And if you are available this evening, join us for the Unwind and Paint
Yeah. Or just join us in the
gathering.
beginning. Introduce
Yeah,
yourself. Say,
yeah.
hey, just
Even if you
checking
can't,
in.
even if you can't be there to be the
Stay
whole
for the
time.
meditation, at least. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's magical.
Yeah. So we'll
Yeah.
get the links out for that later this afternoon. If you can register, and then yeah, we look forward to seeing you this evening.
Exactly.
So it
All
was
right.
lovely to spend this time with you, Miss Paige, and with our community. And we'll see you all next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.